Alright, it's the end of the year and it's the beginning of a new year, which means a lot more gym goers, a lot more new people that are excited to train or want to train or interested in the training. So this is going to be a bunch of different videos, basically talking about how you should start your training and also what you should be using, how to utilize and get the best and the most out of your training sessions. Also longevity wise and in time wise. So what we're going to talk about in this video is equipment. We're going to talk about stuff like sleeves, slingshots, and an array of different equipment and stuff and straps and blah 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 you can use in the gym and why we use it. Just how we would use different exercise to benefit us. You'd use a bunch of different exercise for biceps, a bunch of different exercise for quads, and your bench to work different muscles in the chest. We're going to use a bunch of different equipment to help us get stronger and to stay healthy. A lot of people have a lot against equipment. A lot of people are too proud to use equipment, or they're saying, it takes too long to put equipment on, or, it's too expensive or whatever. They say he's cheating, or he pulled in straps, or he's using bands, or he used knee sleeves. That squat doesn't count. It's not a real squat. Blah, blah, blah. It's all a load of this stuff is going to help you lift safer, lift heavier, and lift for a lot longer. And that's what it's all about. It's not about being the strongest or whatever. It's just about being happy, lifting for a long time, and doing it safely, and making sure it's sustainable to a level, because we're not all going to be the strongest, and we all want to be happy to a degree. So if you're that guy or girl out there that is like, I will never wear knee sleeves, I will never wear a belt, I'm too tough and too strong, build up the courage to spend about 30 quid on knee sleeves or a belt, because what is gonna do, and the key here is progressive overload and overload training. Just how we would progress the weights, or if you're a coach, or if you're doing your own programming, you would be progressing the weights week in and week out, with sleeves and straps and wraps and belts. You can also progress and use them to overload your training sessions. And the thing with this stuff is it takes a lot of strain and wear and tear off the body when you're using such equipment, which means that you're not, you're still doing the work, you're still getting the stimulation of heavier weights for heavier sets and reps and volumes, but you're not getting the damage it does when you're doing this stuff raw, day in, day out. Whereas I'm fighting the cause for these sleeves and belts, there's also the flip side where people are obsessed and way too dependent on these products. They have to wear sleeves, belts and whatnot, or they can't lift. And I feel like that's a massive problem as well. You need to cycle off this. You need to do some raw training as well, because that is massive benefits. You want to give yourself the most disadvantages as possible, so when it's time to compete, or when it's time to get as strong as you possibly can do, you have all the advantages. You can now introduce sleeves, you can now introduce pre-workout, you can now introduce the music and all the hype, and you can get those big PRs. If you're constantly on a high and you're using your maximum stimulants, which is like all the sleeves, the wraps, all the equipment, the music, the pre-workout, there is nothing else. There's no other limit unless Eddie Hall comes and slaps your back. Where else can you go? How can you reach that next level? So that's why I would say, and I would suggest to cycle these training methods, raw and equipped, because you're going to get the best of both worlds. When you're training raw, your natural physique and everything is just going to get a whole lot stronger. And then when you go equipped, your numbers are just going to bump up. Then you're going to go back to raw, and those numbers are going to increase. Then you go to equipped, and you just keep juggling that for the rest of your life, and you're just going to be so healthy, so strong, and you're going to be a lot more happier, and it's just great. So if you're watching this video, I would seriously suggest you to stop waiting. If you've been training for a few years, powerlifting or whatever, and you're just looking for a sign, go out and buy those sleeves for Christmas or the belt, and start implementing it into your training, and just use them for all the benefits they provide. So also, if you're watching this and you have not had a raw cycle, please stop using the sleeves and the belts have a nice little 4 week of no equipment, and then jump back on your equipment and see how strong you are. Also, putting this stuff on and putting on a belt doesn't mean you are safe. You need to learn how to use this properly, and this doesn't mean you can jump 40-50 kg in your squat, bench and deadlift. This is going to give you about extra 5 to 10 kg, if that. It's more for, it's more of a mental game, mental support, and for some other people it can have a massive jump in strength. That's it for this video. If you need any coaching, you need to buy any sick ass tees, you know where to come. Fairground Fitness, Fairground Clothing, signing out.